Hi, my name is Robin and you are welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'll be explaining the methods that we can use to solve quadratic equations. Let's dive right into it. So, we have so many methods that we can use to solve quadratic equations. Let's start with the first one. So I'm going to list all the methods first. So the first method is factorization method. The second method is completing the square method. The third method is quadratic formula method. The fourth method is graphical method. So, these are the methods that we can use to solve quadratic equations. In this video, I will solely be explaining the factorization methods. Let's dive right into it. So, before we take factorization methods, there are a lot of things that you need to know before we actually start with the factorization method. And one of it is called difference of two squares. Here, it's saying difference. Difference simply means subtraction of two squares. So meaning if I have a square and b square, these are two squares. This is a square and b square. So these are two squares. And this says difference, so meaning subtraction. So when you have a squared minus b squared, this can also be expressed as a minus b and a plus b. Or you can write it as a plus b and a minus b. Still the same thing. You have the same answer. Let's check it out. So we can check it out using a squared minus b squared. We said it's equal to a minus b and a plus b. Let's see. So a times a squared, a times plus b plus ab, minus b times a minus ab, minus b times plus b, that is minus b squared. So you have a squared plus ab minus ab, we cancel out because this is plus and this is minus. Then we have b squared. So you can see our a squared minus b squared is equal to this. So definitely this is a correct expression. If you do the same thing to this, you're still going to have a squared minus b squared. So you should write this somewhere, that a squared minus b squared is equal to a minus b times a plus b. Now, let's check some questions out. Let's assume you're asked to factorize. Okay, you're asked to factorize 4x squared minus 16y squared. Okay, here you can see that this is the variables. You have two variables here, x squared and y squared, right? And these are subtraction. This is subtraction, so this is difference of two squares. But this variable, they have coefficient 4 and coefficient y and coefficient 16. So what you need to do is that you need to be able to also express the coefficient in terms of square. And you know 4 can still be written as 2 raised to the power 2, right? So that is 4. So this is x squared minus 16 can also be written as 4 raised to the power 2 y squared. Easy. So in this case, I can say, since power is 2 here, power is 2 here, I can say 2 times x, that is 2x, and you maintain the 2 here. That is laws of indices. Minus the same thing here, 4y raised to the power 2. So you can see here, this is difference of two squares. This 2x is same thing as a, and 2 is 2, minus minus. This b is same thing as 4y, and 2, 2. So in this case, I can say 2x squared, 2x all squared minus 4y all squared is same thing as 2x minus 4y, then bracket 2x plus 4y. Easy. I have used difference of two squares for that. Now, let's take more questions. A says factorize the following. The reason why they are asking you to factorize the following is because this is an expression, is not an equation. Okay? So you already know the difference between an equation and an expression. If you have not seen my video on the differences, click on the top right hand corner of this video to go check it out. Now, if this is an equation, you'll be asked to solve. But here, it is an expression. That is why they're asking you to factorize. So, 9g squared minus 36k squared. Remember, how many variables do you have here? G and k. These are two variables. And this is g squared and k squared, which is, and minus is here. That means it's difference of two squares. Recall, a squared minus b squared is equal to a minus b and a plus b, right? So g squared minus k squared is already in this form. But they both have coefficients. So you need to see if you are able to take the coefficients as squares also. 9 can also be written as 3 raised to power 2. So that is 9. So we have g squared here. 36 can also be written as 6 squared. And we have k squared here. So remember, 3 squared and g squared, this is loss of indices. They have the same power. So the bases can be together and you maintain one of the power. Okay, same thing is 6k all squared. So in this case, my a is same thing as 3g because square, and my b is same thing as 6k. And if I can write a squared minus b squared as this simply means I can write this as 3g minus 6k, then 3g plus 6k. Okay? But I can still take this one forward anyway because 3 is common here, 3 is common here, but this is not the purpose of the video. But if you want to continue with this, 3 is common here, 3 is common here. So I can say 3 out here. This is this minus 2k. That is for this one. And remember, 3 also is common here. 3 bracket g plus 2k. So here I can say 3 times 3, that is 9. So that will be g minus 2k and g plus 2k. But like I said, that is not the purpose of the video. The purpose of this exercise is for you to be able to express this as this. Okay, let's go to B. Now, B. 1 over 16 p squared minus 36q squared. P squared minus q squared is difference of two squares. But because p and q have coefficients, I have to express the coefficient as square also. Remember, this will be 1 over 4 all squared. 1 over 4 times 1 over 4 is 1 over 16. So that is why. So this is p squared minus 36 is something as 6 squared. So q squared. So since both are having the same power, I can say 1 over 4 p all squared. And this can also be 6q all squared. So here, 1 over 4p is something as a squared. 6q or g, if you want to call it that, is same thing as b. So I can write this as 1 over 4p minus 6q square, bracket, then 1 over 4p plus 6q bracket. So that is that. But you can take this further, but that is not the purpose of the video. So this is how to express that. Let's take C, 25y squared minus 4. Okay, so remember here, you want to express this in difference of two squares. So this is something as 5 square y square, right? 4 can be 2 squares. So your a squared minus b squared, I can say this is 5y all squared minus 2 squared. So your a here is 5y and your b here is your 2. You can see that. So expressing this one will give us 5y minus 2 and 5y plus 2. Easy. Now d, 64 minus 16z squared. I will quickly do this one because you already know how to do this now. So this is h squared minus 4z all squared. So this is 8 minus 4z and this is 8 plus 4z. I can stop there, but you can still say 4 outside, 2 minus z. Okay, so dot 4 here, this is 2 plus z. So this is 16, 2 minus z, and 2 plus z. So that is that. Now let's go into the factorization method, using that to solve quadratic equation. Now we are asked to solve this equation. We already know this is a quadratic equation, but here we want to use the factorization method. So the first thing you need to do here, first step here, follow me. Before we talk about the first step, how many terms do I have here? This is 1 and this is 2. Remember, I'm taking it with the signs, that is minus, and this is 3. So we have 3 terms here. So first step is multiply first term with the last term. So what is the first term here? X squared. You are multiplying with the last term plus 6. If you multiply x squared times plus 6, what do you have? Plus 6x squared. That is the first step. Now, before we go to the second step, you need to remember this that I'm about to write. Minus times minus is plus. Minus times plus is minus. Plus times minus is minus. Plus times plus is plus. This is very, very important for you to know. So write it somewhere. So, second step. Now, second step here is talking about what we have gotten here. Okay, what we have gotten here is also 3 things here. First one is plus. Second thing here is 6. And the third thing here is x squared. You see that? So, now, let's start with the first one, plus. What can give us plus? Come here. What can give us plus? This is plus, and this is plus. So what can give us plus? Minus times minus. So I will say, what can give us plus is minus times minus. Okay, which is this one. What can give us plus again? Plus times plus. So, which is also plus times plus. So I'm done with this one. Remember, what I did here is what? What can give us this plus? Plus times, we'll do this plus and plus. That is minus times minus and plus times plus. So the next thing is 6. What can give us 6? What can we multiply together that will give us 6? I can just show you here, 6. What can go in 6? 2. 2 here is 3. So 2 times 3 will give us 6. So 2 and 3 will give us 6. 2 and 3 will give us 6. Okay, what can go again here? 3 here is 1. So this is 6 times 1. So 6 times 1 will give us 6. 6 times 1 will give us 6. You see that? So I'm done with 6. What can give us x squared? X times x is what can give us x squared. So x times x will give us x squared. So I will just put it there. X times x will give us x squared. So this is the second step. Now listen very carefully for the third step. The third step, I'm not going to write it down. I will just show you now. The third step is what can give us what we have in the middle. What do we have in the middle here? Which is the second term, minus 5x. Okay? So let's quickly add up everything that we have here. You had everything here. Minus 2x minus 2 minus 3 minus 2x minus 3x, that is minus 5x, right? Minus 6x minus 1x, that is minus 7x, right? Plus 2x plus 2x, that is plus 5x. Plus 6x plus 1x, that is plus 7x. Now, the third step now is you write x squared. The next thing you want to write is minus 5x. But what is minus 5x? What gave us minus 5x in the second step? This is minus 5x, this is minus 7x, this is plus 5x, this is plus 7x. So what is giving us minus 5x is this. So that is minus 2x minus 3x. So rather than writing minus 5x, I write minus 2x minus 3x. You see that? Which is this. Then the next thing is what? Plus 6. Then I write plus 6 is equal to 0. Right? Now, how many terms do we have here? Now, 1, 2, 3, 4. So all you need to do is to take this and do it like this. Just take it in twos like that. I will explain. So what is common between x squared and 2x? X is common. So this is x minus 2. Right? Then this is a minus sign here. What is common between 3 and 6? That is 3. This is x minus 2. Or just write what you have here. Here. It's easier than disturbing yourself. Is equal to 0. So now you can see that x minus 2 is the same. That is x minus 2. I'll write one of that. Then this is x, the value outside, x minus 3. So I'll write x minus 3 is equal to 0. Now, for factorization method, or in general, quadratic equation, AB is equal to 0. It simply means A is equals to 0 and B is equals to 0. So A here is like my x minus 2. B here is my x minus 3 is equals to 0. So that simply means here x minus 2 is equals to 0. Then x minus 3 is equals to 0. So here that means x is equals to 2 or x is equals to 3. That is that. Don't worry, I'm going to take a lot of questions so that you get familiar with this method. Now, let's take this question. You have to solve this, but we want to use factorization method. So, how many times do you have here? 3. So this is the first one, and this is the second one, and this is the third one. Okay? So, first step is you multiply the first one with the last one. The first one is 2p squared times the last one, the last term is minus 5. Okay, so 2p squared times minus 5, that is minus 10p squared. Okay, remember, always remember this, never forget it. Always remember this, because this is your visa to your solution. Okay, always remember that. So, second step is to concentrate on what we have here. We have three things here. We have minus, we have 10, and we have p squared. So let's start with minus. What can give us minus? What can give us minus here? You see, you have minus here, you have minus here. So what can give us minus? Minus times plus can give us minus. Minus times plus can give us minus, which is this. And what can give us minus again? Plus times minus. So plus times minus can give us minus. Okay, so you have that there. So I'm done with this minus. What can give us 10? 5 times 2 can give us 10. 5 times 2 can give us 10. And 10 times 1 can give us 10. 10 times 1 can give us 10. You can see. So I'm done with 10. What can give us p squared? P times p can give us p squared. Okay? So p times p. So you just put it as I'm doing. Now, the third step is this. Okay? You check what you have in the middle. That is minus 3p, right? Okay, let's see. Let's see. Minus 5p plus 2p. That is minus 3p. Minus is like you are owing money. And plus means you have money. So, minus 5. That means you owe 5. You owe 5. Let's assume dollars. You owe $5, right? And plus 2. You have $2. So you are owing 5, but you have 2. So when you pay out of the money that you owe, you pay the 2 that you have, you are still owing 3. So that is minus 3p. So minus 10p plus 1p, that is minus 9p. Here, plus 5p minus 2p, that is plus 3p. Plus 10p minus 1p, that is plus 9p. Now, the third step is to check what you have in the middle here. So let's write. This is 2p squared. I write 2p squared. The next thing is to write minus 3p. But what is giving us minus 3p? That is minus 5p plus 2p. So I can say minus 5p plus 2p. That is what is giving us minus 3p. Minus 5p plus 2p, which is this one here. And the next thing is minus 5. So minus 5 is equal to 0. So here, you just put them in bracket in twos like this. Okay? So, now, what is common between 2p squared minus 5p? That is p. So this will be 2p minus 5. See that? Okay. Okay, I know you are confused with that, but that is elementary mathematics, but I will explain. So, let's take the first one, 2p squared. So, 2p squared. This is 2 times p. That is 2p squared. The next one is 5p. 5p. That is 5 times p. Okay? Now, what is common between here? So, this is common. You can see that. That is why p is outside. Bracket. Okay, so for 2p squared, you've already taken that p is common. So what is left? 2p. That is why I'm writing 2p here. So this minus is this minus. For 5p, you're already taken that p is common. What is left? 5. So this is the 5. You can see, easy, elementary maths. So the next thing is a plus, right? I put plus here. So for this one, what is common? You can see 2p is equals to 2 times p. And 5 is equal to 5, right? So, you can see nothing is common like the way you had it here. So, if nothing is common, you just say 1, because 1, you can say times 1 is still 2p. You can say times 1 is still 5. So, here, 1 is common. So, I'll say 1 here, right? So, if 1 is common here, what is left on 2p? Is still 2p, right? If 1 is common, what is left on 5? Is still 5. But the problem now is that you don't know the sign to put here. You cannot put minus, For easy solution for you, just put the same sign that you have here. It's easier. So because if I say plus 1 times minus 5, I will still get minus 5. So like I said, just put the same sign that you have here. So now, what is outside? P plus 1. So P plus 1, I write it in the bracket. Then remember, 2P minus 5, 2P minus 5 is the same. You write one of that. 2P minus 5. So this is equal to 0. Like I said, AB is equals to 0. That means A is equals to 0 and B is equals to 0. So here, P plus 1 is equals to 0. That means P is equals to minus 1 because plus 1 goes to the other side. 2P minus 5 is equals to 0. This is 2P. Minus 5 goes to the other side. This is 5. But remember, I'm looking for P, right? That means divide both sides by 2. Okay? So 2 cancel 2. So P here is equals to 5 over 2. So, therefore, my P is equal to, what is the first answer? Minus 1 or 5 over 2. Now, let's solve this question using using factorization method. So, this is the first term, this is the second term, and this is the third term. Remember, first step, you multiply the first with the last. The first is 2y squared, and the last is plus 12. So if you multiply 2y squared times plus 12, this is what? Plus 24y squared. Okay, so second step here is, remember, we are using what we have here. This is first one, second, and third. So let's talk about the first one. What can give us plus? What can give us plus is minus times. You can see this is plus. It's minus times minus. So this is minus, minus. Then what can give us plus again? That is plus times plus. That is plus times plus. So I'm done with this plus. The next thing is 24. What can give us 24? It is easier for you to actually use this. Because 24, what can go in 24? 2. 2 in 24, that is 12. That is 2 times 12 is 24. I can say 2 times 12 is 24. 2 times 12 is 24. Okay, let's continue now to divide. 2 can go here also. That is 6. So what is this one? 4 times 6 is still 24. So 4 times 6, 4 times 6 is still 24. Let's continue to divide. 2 here is 3. What is this one here? 2 times 2 times 2, that is 8. 8 times 3. So 8 times 3, 24. 8 times 3, 24. What can go again? 3. This is 1. So what is this here? 2 times 2, 4. Times 2, 8. Times 3, 24. So 24 times 1 is 24. 24 times 1. 24 times 1. You can see that is the best way you can get all the factors. So here, I'm done with 24. What can give us y squared? Of course, y times y. So I'll just put that on all. So these are all potential solutions, but we need to actually get the right one, okay? So step now is, but before you go there, let's get this. Minus 2y minus 12y, that is minus 14y. Minus 4y minus 6y, that is minus 10y. Minus 8y minus 3y, that is minus 11y. Minus 24y minus 1y, that is minus 25y. Here, plus 14 is just going to be the opposite of what we have here. So if this is minus 14, this will be plus 14. So you don't have to stress yourself. Plus 10y, plus 11y. Okay? So what is going to be the next? Plus 25y. Okay, now, third step. Third step is to rewrite everything here. So the first thing here is what? 2y squared. The next thing is minus 11y. Instead of writing minus 11y, what gave us minus 11y here? This is the minus 11y. There's no other minus 11y anyway. This is plus 11y, but we need minus 11y. So what gave us minus 11y? That is minus 8y minus 3y. So rather than writing minus 11y, I'll write minus 8y minus 3y. So which is minus 11y. Then the next thing is plus 12. I will plus 12. is equals to 0. Remember, just put this in bracket. Okay? Now, let's see what can go here. Okay? So, this is 2y, this is y minus 4. I've explained this, but I will still explain again. The first thing here is 2y squared. So 2y squared. That is 2 times y. That is 2y squared. This one is 8y. Okay, 8y. So what is that? That is 2 times 2, right? Times what? 2 times y. Agree? So you can see here, y is common here and 2 is common here. So what is common? 2y is common. That is why 2y is outside. Bracket. For 2y squared, when you take 2y, you take this 2 and you take this y. What is left? Y. That is why you have the y in bracket. This minus is this minus. Now for 8y, you've taken 2 outside and you've taken y outside. What is left? 2 times 2, which is 4. That is why you have 4. So minus this minus here. Okay? Let's see what is common between 3y and 12. This is 3y. That is 3 times y. You see that? 12 is same thing as 4 times 3, right? So what is common here? It's only 3 that is common. So I'll bring 3 out. Remember what I said. Just write what you have here, but to show you the reason why. You've already brought 3 out. What is left? Y. On 12, you've taken 3 out. What is left? 4. Then, this one is having minus. Put the minus here. Is equals to 0. Okay, so 2y minus 3y is what is outside. So 2y minus 3 is what is outside. Put that in a bracket. Remember, this one and this one are the same. You just write one of it, y minus 4 is equals to 0. So, here, AB is equals to 0. That means A is equals to 0 and B is equals to 0. So my A is same thing as this. So this is 2y minus 3 is equals to 0. Then my B is this. So y minus 4 is equals to 0. So here, 2y. I can take minus 3 to the other side. So this is 3. And I can take 4 to the other, minus 4 to the other side. So this is 4. I'm looking for y. Divide through by 2 so that I can get my y standing alone. So here I have y is equal to 3 over 2 or 4. Easy. Now let's solve this equation. A 4y squared minus 16 is equal to 0. Okay, we already know that we can use difference of two squares. Remember, this is 4. This can be 4y squared minus 4 squared is equal to 0. This can still be 2 raised by 2, that is 4. Then y squared minus 4 squared is equal to 0. So y squared minus 4 squared, that is already difference of two squares, right? So this will be, I can write this together. So that is 2y all squared minus 4 squared, which is equal to 0. So recall that a squared minus b squared is equal to a minus b and a plus b. That is difference of two squares. So my a is my 2y. So 2y minus 4, then 2y plus 4 is equal to 0. So this is 2y minus 4 is equal to 0. Then 2y plus 4 is equal to 0. So 2y is equal to 4 because minus 4 comes here. 2y plus 4 comes here minus 4, right? So you divide through by 2. So 4 divided by 2. This one also divide through by 2. Okay? So this cancel this. So y is equals to 2, or this cancel this. Y is equals to minus 2. Easy. So that is using difference of two squares now to solve quadratic equation. Now for b, I will quickly do this because you already know how to solve this. Now, for C, pause the video and try to do that. Now, let's see if you got the solution for C. So this is 6p all squared. That is minus that. Wow, congratulations, you are able to stay to the end of this video. I will implore you to do more practice of solving many questions as you can using the factorization method. But I'm very confident that you will be able to solve all the quadratic equations that can be done by factorization method. I will see you in my next video where I'm going to be taking other methods of solving quadratic equation. Bye for now.